Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into the channel Joe Rocks. Hope everyone's doing well. I am back with a haul video, vinyl and CD. Some new stuff and some old stuff. Let's just get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is the vinyl. And I'm going to kick it off with a heavy metal band from the 80s, Chastain. The Voice of the Cult. This album was released in 1988, and I was into them at the time. The first album I ever heard from them was The Seventh of Never, which was the album previous to this, and that came out in 87. And I didn't really follow them after that too much. I know they've had albums on and off since then. Of course, they're the band that has Leather Leone as the lead singer, and David Chastain, of course, it's his band. But like I said, I was familiar with their first four albums. I think I really just didn't follow them too much after this album, is because I was getting into heavier music. So here's the picture of the band. This was reissued about 3 years ago by Shadow Kingdom Records. Lyrics on the back. So very cool. I'm proud. I plan to get back into Chastain. Like I said, I'm pretty familiar with their first four albums. After that, I really just didn't follow them hardly at all. I know they made some albums on and off. I think David Chastain had his own another band, I believe, after that. And I know Leather Leone, I'm familiar with her last few solo albums. So, but yeah, Chastain, Voice of the Cult. Alright, this is the debut studio album from Dawn of Our Boris, The Art of Morphology. Now this was just recently reissued by Beyond the Top Records. Originally this was on, what was the name of it? Rain Without End Records, and this is their debut studio album, like I said, which came out in 2020. So, now, they're a new band to me. Late last year, I had streamed one of their songs off their second album, Velvet Incandescence, and I really loved it. And when I saw that their new album was coming out, Bioluminescence, which came out earlier in the year, I picked that up. So back in May, I think, in April or May, I had gotten a notification that this was going to be reissued. So I had never heard it. And so I just, I pulled the trigger on it and decided to get it, and it's really good. It's really good. They're probably one of my favorite bands right now of the 2020s, of this new decade. Atmospheric, I know I talked about them before. Atmospheric, mix of Black and Death. Some people, I know I heard a little bit of described as like jazz vibes on a few of their songs, but to me it just comes off as more atmospheric, which I guess could be similar. But yeah, Dawn of Our Boris, this is their debut. I love Chelsea Murphy. She's the vocalist. I love her vocals. I really do. Harsh and clean. I think she's an amazing vocalist. So I'm definitely glad I picked this up, and I have listened to this, and it's amazing. So, like I said, they are one of my favorite bands of this new decade. So, and they've only got 3 studio albums, but I definitely can't wait for more. So, all right, from Agonia Records, I picked up the new Beheaded album, Gadam. I think that's how you say it. They're from the island of Malta. So they've been around for a while. This is their 7th studio album, and I think their first album came out in the early 2000s. Now, I'm only familiar with their previous album, and I've read up just a little bit on them. Only Death Can Save You was the one that came out about 5 years ago. So it's like transparent smoke, I guess. Death metal leans more towards the brutal side of death metal, but I did enjoy their previous album to this one, Only Death Can Save You. And I haven't had a chance to listen to this yet, but based on what I liked off the first album, I'm hoping I will like this one. I'm sure I will. Oh, very cool. That is Beheaded, their album Gadam, or Gadam. Sorry if I'm not saying it right. Alright, this is a recent pickup for me that I was at a record shop, and they had some records that they were reselling, and this is a really good copy of the debut album from Toxic Holocaust, Evil Never Dies. My favorite thrash bands ever. They're more black and thrash, but they rank up there for me. And the first album I ever heard from them was Conjuring Command, which came out in 2010 or 2011, I believe. But yeah, I'm glad I have this. I got all their stuff on CD, and this is the third vinyl I have from them. So, Toxic Holocaust, Evil Never Dies. Their last album came out in 2019. I think it was Primitive Future, and they've been quiet since then. So I'm hoping that they're going to have some new music coming out soon. Or hopefully Joel Grind, it's his band. Hopefully he's working on some new stuff. So, all right, next up is the death metal band from the U.S., Reburied, Flesh Mourning. Now, if anybody out there follows Melanie Loves Death Metal, she showed this on her channel. This is their second studio album, I believe, so I'm not familiar with the first one. But I definitely plan to check it out. So, Melanie likes the more brutal side of death metal, which is very cool. I probably tend to lean a little bit more towards the melodic, but I do like some of the brutal stuff. I do find some stuff I really enjoy. So, Flesh Mourning. So, and this came out in July. I wasn't sure if I was going to pick it up, and then I saw her review on it, and I changed my mind. So, and I decided to get it. So, I have not listened to it yet, but I do plan to very soon. Let's see what else. Band, kind of a color picture, or well, they're live shots of the band. Looks like drawings, kind of, but very cool. Reburied, Flesh Mourning. Right, the last vinyl is from the LA garage rock band LA Witch. Now, I did show their CD. They have a new album this year called Dog God. They're a trio, female band. This is their third studio album. I do have the CD, which I did show on one of my previous videos. And they just repressed, did a repress of this, of their third album, Dog God. So I always said that if they ever do a repress, I'm gonna jump on it right away, and I did. So Ellie Witch. Red Transparent. So they're garage rock. This album has some post-punk vibes. Small amounts of blues influence on here, but it's really cool. This is probably a top rock album for me. I'm enjoying this a lot. So I could see it being, as far as in my rock albums, I could see it being like in my top 5. So yeah, I'm glad I pulled the trigger on this too, because it's a really good album. Ellie Witch. Right now, I'm going to do the CDs. First thing I got is the Primal Frost. They're from Canada. It's a one-man band, so to speak. They're like, he's does like symphonic black metal mixed with a little power metal. Very cool. This is the 3rd album that he's put out. The only one I'm familiar with is Lost Elegies, and I think that came out 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. This one is Path of Resilience. So I have not heard the debut. I plan to, but I just have not heard it yet. So very cool. Like I said, symphonic black metal mixed with a little power metal. So this came out in July too, I believe. Yeah. Alright, next up, I have not opened this yet. I just got this not too long ago. This is the new album from Terror Dome. They're crossover thrash. I mean, they're really thrashy. I got this off of Bandcamp. This is like a mini box set, CD box set. It has a couple of collectibles in there. This is the Plagued with Violence. And this is like their 4th studio album. Yeah, 4th studio album. I am familiar with the 2 before this. Machete Justice was one, and then the other one was Straight Outta Smogtown. So they're from Poland, but they're really cool. I love how thrashy they are. I mean, they're like thrashy, like heavy. So almost sometimes it seems borderline like death thrash, but you can tell that they're definitely a crossover vibe. So and like I said, I got this off of Bandcamp, and so I did download the digital. There it comes with a pin, Terror Dome patch, very nice. Sticker, very cool. I like that. And a signed, nice signed postcard, or actually just a card, no postcard. Cool. And then the CD is in here. It is a jewel case. I should have brought my knife, and I did not. Alright, there we go. Terror Dome. Plagued with Violence. This is amazing so far. I'm really enjoying this a lot. Uh-oh. Some of the things that hold the CD in there fell out, so I have replacements, so that's cool. That's what you got them for, because sometimes that happens. Let's take the CD out. And there's another shot of the band. Another shot of the band. Very cool. Some artwork. And lyrics, credits, stuff. Alright. Very nice. Terror Dome. Ooh. I can see this being one of my top thrash albums this year because I've already listened to it about 4 times. And it was just released not too long ago. I think August 1st it came out. But I didn't download it right away, but I did not long after. So that was nice. A nice little mini box set there. Alright, next up, Impureza, death metal band from France. They sing in Spanish, I believe. This is Alcazares is the name of the album. This is their 3rd studio album. I am not familiar with their previous 2 albums. So the cool thing about this, I have listened to this came out in July. The cool thing about this is that it's a mix of acoustic guitar and flamenco style. So I thought that was really cool. So that made me want to check out their previous releases. So I think their first album came out in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. So they've only made 3 albums in about 11 years. But I'm really enjoying this a lot. This is another one that I could see being in my top 20 or 25 this year. So there's the band there. They're from France and sounds like they sing in Spanish. Very nice. Alright, next up, this was just came out, I think this came out in May, or June maybe, but I saw it actually on social media, like an advertising on social media, and it's a re-release of the first 2 Gorguts albums on CD, Considered Dead and The Erosion of Sanity. Now, these guys were from Canada, or they are from Canada. Luc Lemay is the only original member left. He's a guitar player and vocalist. They've got 5 studio albums. They've gone on a couple hiatuses, broke up one time and then reformed. And they've kind of changed. I mean, they're death metal. I mean, they're one of the, from back in the day when death metal was first coming out and stuff, and one of the early bands of death metal. So this booklet goes through some of the story of these first couple albums. This was released by Dissonance Productions, and I think it was distributed through Cherry Red because I saw it on Cherry Red's website. So, very cool. Now, I haven't followed them. I remember these albums back in the day, and but I never followed them after that. So they only got 3 more studio albums, and like I said, they've gone through a couple hiatuses and a breakup and reforming. So the last album that they made was in 2013. It was called Colored Sands, I believe. And I have not heard that, so I'm only familiar with their first 2. So, but I do plan to check out the other 3. So, Gorguts, reissue of their first 2 albums. Alright, I picked up the new Crypt Sermon EP, Saturnian Appendices, so it's got 4 songs on it. Last year they had one of my favorite albums last year, The Stygian Rose. So I have not heard this yet, so I plan to listen to it soon. But yeah, like I said, it's only got 4 songs. Shadows Band. Lyrics. I think one's an instrumental, if I'm not mistaken. So, alright, very cool. Last thing that I did not open is, this was just recently released. Now, Cherry Red Records. This one's on Dissonance Productions. Yeah, Dissonance Productions. Cherry Red Records also. The first 4 Obituary albums. I believe these are remastered. World Demise and Slowly We Rot, The Incomplete, Cause of Death. Obituary is a band that I have followed but not followed. So their first 4 albums, these I'm familiar with. I had 2 of them on CD back in the day. I think it was The Incomplete and Cause of Death. Then I kind of stopped following them after World Demise. I didn't think they broke up or anything. I was getting into other music and stuff like that at the time. And but anyway, I know they made an album a couple years ago. What was it? Dying of Everything, and then I know they had the self-titled one a couple years before that. So those are the only 2 like recent releases that I know of from them. I know like there's a Frozen in Time that I have not heard that came out before that. Darkest Day also is one I know. I know the title. I've never heard the album. So all right, let's see. They're all in jewel cases. Slowly We Rot. I know this album. I just didn't own it back in the day, but I've heard it. CD. I think I showed that. Let's see what this also comes with. Oh, like some cards. There's some cards. Came with some pictures of the band and stuff. Obituary. Very cool. Alright. Cause of Death. Just has like kind of just simple insert with like credits and things and stuff like that. So there's a small booklet, looks like, too. I'll get to that shortly. Incomplete. I haven't listened to these albums in a long time, so it'll be nice to hear them again. And World Demise. I want to say, I think these were all on Roadrunner at the time when they came out, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, this insert is a little thicker. Let's see what's in here. Alright, let's see what the booklet's got in there. Okay, pictures and like advertising and stuff. Cool. I'm not sure who did the liner notes for this. I don't know if it was one of the Tardy brothers. But yeah, very cool. I remember having an Obituary t-shirt like in 93 or 94. Alright, very cool. Well, this just came out not too long ago. Like I said, in July, the end of July, I believe. So very nice. Obituary. Godly Beings. That's the title of this first 4 album box set. So, alright, that is completes my haul video. Something was just announced. A new Corner album was just announced that I think is coming out in October. Yeah, I believe it's coming out in October. And then, of course, just two announced yesterday was Megadeth is ending. They're going to do one more album and one more tour, final tour. We'll see. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will. I don't know how Dave's health is. I know he had throat cancer about 5 or 6 years ago. And so hopefully he's okay, and it's not for any reason like that he's that they're ending Megadeth. But that album's supposed to come out like January, February next year. So I believe the thing I saw on social media was that pre-orders are going to be available in the fall. So that means in next year, early next year, hopefully. So, all right, that's all I got for my haul here. And thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you in the next video.